Hey guys, welcome to this podcast for voice acting. And everybody introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Vexy. Or
Hi, my name's
Vex.
Cal.
Hi, my name's MC.
And I'm Sean MD.
And I'm the Same Maker 101.
And
Excellent.
I am the real eternal, and this is gonna be a voice acting podcast that I'll be trying to hosting once a month. So for this episode, we're gonna be starting off with just 5 simple questions for each of the people here. So yeah, let's get to it. All right. So who wants to answer this question first, or who wants to start off with the start with this question first?
I
was gonna say we could just go down the
Oh yeah, that's true.
Down the name.
yeah,
Yeah.
the same way that we
All
just
right.
did, where we went
Yeah.
All right, Vexy's first.
Vexy, me, MC, Nico, Sean, Sam.
All right. So Vexy, first question: what got you into voice acting?
Well, when I was younger, I used to do a lot of live performances, like musical theater and plays and choir and stuff like that. But then my friend left that, and I was fairly sad because I was all alone without my friend. So they started doing voice acting, and that's why they left theater, because they wanted to do voice acting. And I'm like, hey, what is this? And they're like, it's voice acting. Want to join? And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So now I'm here. But yeah, basically my friend just inspired me to do it. He gave me one of his old microphones that I didn't use anymore, which was really crud at the beginning. But hey, now I have this beautiful microphone in front of me right now. So yeah.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool.
All right, Cal, you're next.
Yay! Let's see. Well, when I was a small child, I actually had a real penchant for doing voices and kind of being silly when I was a very, very small child. And then quite a few years ago, Jasper offered to have me voice in one of his very early fan dubs, like before we even met you, Nico, and I decided I would do it. And I kind of enjoyed it and decided I might as well, at some point down the line, decided I might as well try and be a voice actor.
Oh, okay.
I've always been good at talking, so I might as well do it professionally.
That's a mood.
All right, MC.
All right, so I started back in. I don't want to reveal the year yet, but I started doing voice act. I wanted to. What got me into voice acting was basically a couple of comic dubs that I was watching on YouTube, and it just kind of popped up on my feed for some reason. I was like, oh, this is pretty interesting. I would see how that goes, and next thing you know, I'm basically auditioning for in a website called Casting Call Club, which a lot of amateur voice actors start off with. And I thought it was like, I'll just probably, do one or two, see how it goes, start to enjoy, and over time I started to enjoy it. But there was another part that also, because I didn't want to constantly being, because it was during the summer, and basically I was kind of just being lazy throughout the time, and I had no idea what to do. So I was like, maybe I should just do something different instead of just playing video games throughout my life, because I can't just constantly do that every single time when I'm relaxing during the summer. So having to watch a couple comic dubs and also wanting to be interested in doing that type of stuff, I started doing voice acting because of that, and also trying to get my how do I say it without cussing? I'm basically gonna say how to to get a hold of myself together and not to just constantly being lazy over time during the summers. So yeah.
You gotta
Oh wait,
just
are we not supposed to cuss?
together.
I didn't really put a barrier for that. No.
Okay.
But I think it would be a good. I think it would be a good idea for just for in case if this video is being found by younger audiences. So this is kind of
Yeah, that's not to Best not to drop any of the hard swears. So
Well, I already
no,
did that, so I'm sorry.
it's all right. You can say
That's
ass,
hard.
you can say damn. Just don't randomly drop the N word in the middle of this or something.
Yeah,
That would be
not the
really
14
bad.
and up ones.
Hey guys, when in doubt, just use flamingo. Like our dear friend
Just say-
Nico did.
No, just use the Minecraft rule and just say frick and heck.
If you wanna curse, just say the word fudge.
Okay.
It always just makes me think of that TikTok of the guy like, my mom walked in and saw that you typed look in the chat, and now I'm grounded. You know the rules. You know the rules.
Okay. So,
Beautiful.
MC, anything else, or is that about it?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
I just rambled a little bit on that.
All
It's
right.
the origin of MC. Telling all our origin stories.
5 out of 10.
Okay.
5 out of 10.
So I'm next.
You rate yourself a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, basically, origin
You
story.
really are your own worst critic.
Hey, this is what I have to deal with in my therapy classes. Love
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Nico's turn
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Nico's turn.
All right. So like what I got into voice acting at first, like what I try to remember, I was like, it was when this one group called MLXR Dubs was trying to fan dub Snafu. I've seen their dub, I like it, and then eventually I wanted to join them. So that's what at first I thought how I started, but actually when I was a sophomore in high school, there was this character called Leon from Tales of Destiny. I wanted to put my voice in him, so I tried to do like this one, this like a lot of lines from the sequel, like after he died, and then he renamed himself as Judas.
Spoilers.
I know.
I'm
It's
kidding.
an old game. It doesn't matter. But
I'm kidding.
So yeah, that's how I started attempting to voice a character and just not have the acting part. But ever since the fan dub from MLXR posted, that's how I began officially trying to voice act by auditioning stuff in BTVA, and this is where it got to me.
Cool.
Yay!
Round of applause, sir.
Yeah, eventually you auditioned for one of Jasper's things, and that's how me and you
That's
met.
how I met you two flamingos.
Yay.
Flamingos.
Yeah, I was about
I
to
met
say
Jasper
the
on
actual
this
F
server.
word, but I'm like, oh shit.
Is that a comment on my extremely long neck? I'm kidding. Flamingos don't have the Adam's apple that I do.
Can you
Frickin'
imagine if they did, though?
huge.
Can you imagine if they did though?
I'm imagining like a really long Adam's apple that just scales to the length of their neck. Their neck just comes to a 90-degree angle. That would be amazing. All right.
Hold on, let me open Photoshop.
No, wait, we have to let Sean tell his origin story.
Go.
Sean, you're next.
Origin time.
Origin time.
X-Men Origins, Sean MD.
Ironically, a better origin story than X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Unironically,
Hey, rhymes.
better film.
Bro, you're a poet.
That was good. Bars.
Yo, we hitting bars, man.
Sean out here spitting fire.
My eyes, not my mouth. All right. Sorry. I'd say when I started out, I didn't originally plan on being a voice actor. I originally planned on becoming an animator. So back a few years before I even thought of doing this, I wanted to do full-fledged animation. You know, creating storyboards and actually creating my own shows or my own content on YouTube and so forth. But when I realized that I couldn't be able to do all this stuff on my own, there was also some equipment that I, lacked. And there was a few things I was missing. Like, say, music, which I had absolutely no, connection to whatsoever. And I just ended up getting like random stuff off of the internet. And, but the other thing that I needed was actors for my animation. And two of the ones that I originally, came to mind was, I believe you already know this, Nico, but one of them was for the male character, Xander. He was played by Shadyvox, aka Blake Swift, who's done different stuff in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the Abridged series. When I heard him, I was immediately like, yeah, that's my guy. That's my guy. And the second one was Kira Buckland. I immediately heard her voice, and I immediately commissioned both of them to play in the animation. I had, of course, Blake Swift as Xander, and I had Kira Buckland as two other characters.
Oh, so she voiced for you then?
Yep.
Nice.
She voiced...
Wow. That's
Yep.
pretty amazing.
Really freaking out.
Mm-hmm. So afterwards, once I finally got, the animation stuff done and I finally had uploaded it to YouTube and stuff, and afterwards, the animation itself didn't really get that many views. But the thing is that once I actually got a chance to talk with them and got to, know them a little bit, the first thing that popped into my head was, man, I wish I could be able to do that kind of stuff. Like, because the thing is, the thing that really hit me was the fact is that we're living in an indie age where you don't need to go out and you don't need a studio. You don't need like professional grade equipment in order to do the kind of stuff that you do. Like for full-fledged animators, they're mostly just at home working on their computers. And for voice actors, you can basically do that anywhere, which I had no idea. I was young and stupid, and I didn't realize that's how the world worked. And the thing, yeah. And the second that hit me, I was like, wait a minute, if they can do it, why can't I? I mean, they don't need a studio. They're basically recording in their homes. I figured, why not? I mean, I had always wanted to do acting, but I never was, because see, I live like far east to the point where there's little to no, stuff available. Like even local theater is barren here. So the fact that I could be able to do this anywhere without having to actually be, anywhere specifically or audition for stuff, when you can be able to literally audition from anywhere online, that was basically what got me into thinking, holy crap, I could do this. I mean, Team 4-Star does it. Elimani does it. Both of them did it. I was like, I can do this. And then the second that I got started, I bought my first mic, which was a Blue Yeti. I got a full-fledged stand. I got a pop filter. I got everything I needed. And the second I hit record, I was like, it's like I had enlightenment. I was like, what have I been missing?
So you had a eureka moment when you first started recording.
Exactly. And then a few years later, here I am.
Out of curiosity, do you still have any interest in animating, or are you still doing any kind of animation work?
The thing is, yes, I am. But the thing is that I've gotten a bit more picky to the point where I'm not, putting on YouTube all the different works in progresses that I've had. And I'm just trying to actually get a better grip of it, because back then I sucked at animating.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
I mostly just like did a lot of motion tweens, and even if I was able to make like a puppet rig for different stuff, most of it was already pre-made assets, like stuff that I didn't even have to make on my own.
I get what you mean. I mean, I've gotten a lot pickier with my own editing over the years. I mean, I used to not really care that much, and now I try and put as much effort as I can into every little thing that I create.
Yeah, you get that kind of perfectionist mentality of like,
eventually,
no, crap, that's crap,
that's
crap,
shit, that's
make
shit.
it crap, make it crap,
Make it crap.
crap, oh, crap.
Oh, I love J.K. Simmons.
I do too. That man is a god.
Okay.
I will never forget.
Sorry. Okay, sorry. But can you guys hear me well? Cause
Yeah, we can hear
you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Come back like 2 times because my internet is completely crud right now. So I'm on my personal hotspot on my on my phone now.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Gotcha.
We can hear you.
So yeah, sorry about randomly coming in and out.
No, it's fine.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, Sammy.
Oh,
Yeah, your turn.
wait, was Sean done?
Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like,
X-Men Origins Sean has concluded.
Yeah.
Still a better movie than
Deadpool's dead.
Origins Wolverine.
Deadpool's dead. But Sean has now
I
lost his
killed
memories.
Deadpool.
Oh,
sorry,
God.
it flowed
So-
so beautifully that I never got the cue. Okay.
Can we just imagine a comic book instead of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, it's just Sean kills the Marvel Universe.
He had the gauntlet the entire time.
Beautiful.
Quick, Sean, get animating! You can do it!
I am inevitable, and I am Sean MD.
And it's pizza time.
Pizza time.
Okay.
All right.
Sammy, you're next.
Origins.
Okay. So ever since I was able to essentially talk, I had wanted to be a singer. I would sing a lot, especially like to songs on the radio or Kelly Clarkson, Hello 2000s.
Aha.
But eventually I started to get into video games, and the game that got me into all of this beautiful shit was Mario and Sonic at the 2010 Winter Olympics.
Are you
Beautiful.
serious?
Wow.
Mwah, it was beautiful. Okay, so I was roughly about 11. Okay, I was about 11, and it was originally like the spark that started for me was I wanted to play a character from that game. I really liked, and I wanted to play her. Like I
Wait,
loved.
you really liked what?
wanting. I really liked this particular character, and I just wanted to play her. I like wanted to eventually like become someone who could be her voice because she was a pretty cool character. And this character was Amy Rose. Hello, two-dimensional.
Oh my god.
However, this never really went anywhere. I developed a voice, but at the time, I was freaking 11. I had no access to flipping YouTube. I had nothing. I was a country kid. So, yeah, I really didn't go anywhere with that until, like, I think a few years later back in, like, 2016, like, when I was about 17, 16 years old, I started to get into Fire Emblem a lot. Like I was very like in the fandom at this time. And I found a bunch of comics by Tizzy TX and another one by I forget her name, but she's the one who did Aqua's way of resolving conflict. And I don't know what went through me. Because at the time, like like Sean, I was actually planning on becoming an animator myself. I was planning on ditching singing. I was an MMD animator who did a bunch of stuff for Lady Arietta. And yeah, I don't know what happened. Just I eventually wanted to make these a video, but I didn't know exactly like I'm like, I can't just put this in a video. I need to do something with it. Wait, I have a microphone. I should just try voice acting. That's a thing. And I did it. And originally with Tizzy TX, it didn't blow up really. No one really looked at it. But when I did the Fire Emblem Fates video, it kind of blew up and I got scared. So I just kept doing it. And that's my beautiful origin story. I just one spark, it died down. Then I almost lost it, and then it just happened, and I've been doing this for quite some time now. So yeah.
It's ironic that Fire Emblem is the one that lighted the spark.
I know
This whole thing.
Well, technically, it was Sonic that like the spark.
Wait, Sam,
But-
Yes.
Sam.
Yeah.
Fire
Nice.
Emblem. The power of my. You know what I'm about to
What?
say. The power of my.
I don't. I can't fill this quote in. Is it like something dirty?
It's nipples.
Nipples aren't that dirty. Come on. We all have them.
No.
Sammy, would you like to explain to Caden what we're talking about?
All right.
Do I want to hear this?
Yes, you do, and I will make you hear it. Damn it! It's
I can just take my head.
Okay.
You realize I can take these headphones right off, right?
Okay, so pretty much, the whole nipple.
Headphones off!
Between
They didn't come off all the
is
way. Hold on.
essentially-
I tried to like throw my headphones off. They came off halfway, and the top part that goes around over the top of my head just went over
Caden,
my.
I did comic dubs with her.
Yeah, he did. Basically, he does comic dubs with me, and in one of the outtakes,
Of you?
he What?
Did you say of you or with?
No. I was like, yeah, we did comic dubs together, and in one of the outtakes he said, "Touch my nipples, touch it," and that became a meme between me and him. That is his meme now.
It sounds like it just reminds me of the Ghost Stories dub. Fucking
No.
You
touch me.
Oh no.
Touch me harder.
you
me harder.
stupid selfish. Does he look happy to be back? Huh?
I'm sorry, Shirotami, but I know we can't be together. Not because
Not
honestly,
because you're a rabbit,
honestly,
but because you're black.
honestly,
I'll never-
I want to participate in whatever studio they were at the time.
Dude, I will never not laugh at the fucking his funny little laugh.
God damn it. Oh god. Okay, well I'm just
his
leaving
funny
that out
little
there.
requests
Touch me.
and his reprimand.
Touch me harder.
Okay. All right. Just to make sure we don't prolong the podcast too long, let's go to question number 2. What's your practice before recording? Basically, what's your
We
practice
should go a
before
little bit
voice
faster
acting?
since it's
Wait, does practice mean like job or like what's our warm up routine?
Yeah, like
Warm up.
Warm up, yeah. Like, what's
Yeah,
your warm up
basically
before
warm up.
voice acting? Vexy.
Okay, so as I said before, I used to be in choir, so I know a shite ton of vocal warm-ups. Swearing. Okay, cool. Haha.
shite isn't a swear word. It's spelled differently. It has an e at the.
I know, that's why I said it.
You should have said shizzle. All right, all I'm saying.
Anyway. So basically, what I do for my vocal warm-ups is like I just copy my old or I just use my old choir warm-ups. It's like, Mama made me mash my M&Ms, oh no. Mama made me mash my M&Ms, oh no. And then sometimes I'll like do like just humming, and then I'll just buzz my voice for a little bit to try and warm up my voice a bit more.
Also, like lip rolls, or
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
like
sometimes I'll just roll my R's. I'll just and then I'll hum other things like that. So yeah.
Somebody just asked. Somebody asked when the podcast was.
It's right now, sweetheart.
Oh dear.
Hey, when's the podcast happening? No.
Oh dear, sweet child.
Wait, who's asking?
Fire Dragon Production.
Ah, he's late.
Hold on. Hang on. When is it?
Now. No, what you should have said was like 30 minutes ago.
That's effed up. Okay.
When's the podcast happening?
Okay, quick thing. I'm just gonna go. My Wi-Fi is not dealing with me right now.
Your wife.
So-
That's a shame.
I'm sadly gonna go. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Goodbye, Vex.
My Wi-Fi hates me.
We
And
love
I don't
you.
want to join on my phone because my phone is sucky. Bye.
Peace
take
out.
care.
Enjoy the rest.
All right, Kaden.
And then there were 5.
Your
Yes.
answer to the question. What's your warm up?
What do I do? I don't have really a specific warm-up routine, but I do have a habit of basically people aren't here most of the time. I tend to be alone in my head a lot, so I will actually talk to myself in specific character voices. If I know that I'm going to be playing a character with a specific accent, for example, I'll practice that and I'll listen to other people who have that accent and I'll try and just kind of keep it in my memory as much and kind of speak in that voice so that it becomes kind of natural. That's just how that's like the reason I can sound like
this without any real problem.
Holy crap.
because I've just straight up sat around just talking to myself like that until it kind of becomes.
I hope no one has walked in on you doing that.
If anybody walked in on me and heard me
Talking like this.
I would just tell them to fuck off in that. Well, sorry, frick off.
You're giving Nico more work by bleeping you out with the Minecraft sound effect, please.
bleep me out with the bruh sound effect, please. I would tell them. I'd tell them to bruh off. Wouldn't that be goddamn hilarious?
Okay.
What you need to do is you need to censor me with an even worse swear word. So you censor the F word with somebody screaming the N word.
Oh no!
or Lamar just like leaning his body and then just say that to Franklin on the first mission.
That would be brilliant.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's what I do. I just talk to myself a lot. I'm basically a crazy person.
All right. MC clip.
Aren't we all?
I haven't heard MC talk in like 10 minutes. Should somebody check him for a pulse?
Wait.
All
Hey
right.
guys, clear!
He's alive.
I've been banging my door for 10 minutes now. I'm just kidding.
You were fucking your door? Jesus.
God damn.
I was bang. Oh, like that.
Sorry.
Wow, you have to make it out of context for that.
Sorry, I had to say
All we
that
can
one.
say is that door has some wood.
Damn, boy. I was imagining he was like sticking it in the keyhole.
Seal the keyhole.
This is how I lock my door. You'll never be able to get this key from me. Imagine you had that as like a skeleton key. Knock, knock. I'm coming in.
I mean, it makes sense because it's October.
It is the
Spooky
season.
Okay, MC. Your
How
answer
do
to
you-
question number 2. What's your warm up?
How do you
Okay,
warm
so
up?
I thought I already said it, but I said basically talking to myself and lip rolls because I don't. Sometimes I do lip rolls, but usually I don't really have a good or any official practice before recording lines. So I kind of do.
I'm
I
gonna be
basically.
I thought you said liberals for a second there. Not lip roll.
Oh darn!
That's my mistake. That's my brain going to stupid places.
Plot twist. His
I talk to liberals to warm up.
his political agenda is.
That's brilliant.
Wait, holy crap, Cal! I just saw your face.
Oh yeah, that's on Twitter now.
Yeah, that is on Twitter. Cool.
That's me.
Your only reason. Well, one of your reasons of cutting your hair is so that Vocal doesn't braid your hair.
I'm gonna shave my whole head to avoid that if I have to. I've shaved my head for less.
Really?
Yes, really.
Shave it for charity.
I actually made a bet with somebody back in 2016 that if Donald Trump won the election, I'd shave my head.
Did you do it?
Yeah, I did. Shaved my whole head.
I cried when that happened. I was like, no.
Yeah.
So you were temporarily stupid. Anyways, so my turn. Okay, so my answer to this, honestly, I don't have anything specific, but what I would normally do is loosen up my body a little bit, drink a lot of water, and probably speak to myself a little bit at sometimes, or just sing Believe It or Not. I'm walking on air. And then I just speak in voice acting, whatever character or audition, and I just like, okay, so I think this voice or higher voice or lower voice, and I just go with the flow basically. So that's just my warm up or preparation.
Yes. Beautiful.
Hello.
Oh hey.
Oh, hey,
Hello.
newcomer.
Hey, this is a quick
New challenger of
introduction.
yours.
This is a good way of showing people why you shouldn't use a headset mic. I'm trying to set up my normal mic.
Okay.
Excellent.
Anyways, so you want to participate for the podcast? Fill up for Vexy because she had to leave.
Me?
Yeah, you want to participate in that since you're here?
Yeah, that's actually why I just joined in.
Yeah. We already answered the first question, so you'll be answering the second question after Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean.
Well, the thing is that like Vexy, I also do a lot of vocal warm-ups before doing anything because before I even get in front of the mic, there's like zero energy in my voice. My voice is all crackly. It's all like very bland in tone. You can even hear like right now it's like very ish. So doing different stuff like say lip rolls, which helps you engage the diaphragm a lot effortlessly without having to go like the yeah route.
Yeah.
Plus also like vocal fry, which helps me get down into like deeper voices. Solid Snake.
That's a good snake, actually.
Thank you.
Sorry to
And
interrupt.
also for like breath control, if I'm doing a lot of like screaming or if I'm yelling at a very loud volume, breath control is also good, like the 360-degree breath, like the hiss exercise where you have to go like and hold it for like 40 seconds. That's definitely some good breath control to make sure that you can be able to scream for long periods of time. Like one time I actually screamed for like like screamed to the top of my lungs for like 30 seconds straight.
Oh God.
Like the I'm not doing it right now because I don't want to blow like the gain.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my
All right, Sammy.
All right, so I have to do this really quick because Michael needs me to open the door because he has a skittle loads of groceries. All right, so to be perfectly honest, I don't exactly have a warm up routine. I kind of just shoot the skittles and do what I can do, pretty much. Sometimes that kind of does fail me because sometimes, like when I do voices like this, it can really tire up my throat. So a couple things that I do is sometimes I will do the lines over and over and over again until I eventually get it correctly.
Oh, so I made you tire your voice when you were doing Alice.
Yep. I flamingoed my voice. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But sometimes I also do sing like whatever cover I'm working on at the time. Sometimes I'll use that as a warm up. Like right now, it's "Don't Say Goodbye." Why do I do this to myself? Ugh. But pretty much that's it. And I will be back momentarily because, like I said, Michael has a skittle loads of groceries, so I'll be back, folks.
All right.
So we're talking about warm-ups.
Yeah. So like, what's your warm ups, or what's your like? What do you do? What do you do before like recording stuff or voice acting in general?
What I typically do is, let's say, like one of my personal characters to voice is a character by name of Sherlock Holmes. What I typically do is I sit down, calm down, I think about the character, and then I just kind of go for it, more or less. Or if I'm auditioning, I think more of I do the voice over and over again until I have it just right. So repetition and just getting through the character's head.
I see. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go to question number 3. All right. We're gonna start with Cal for this one. How long have you been voice acting?
Let me see. I have no idea how many years it's been since I first started like trying to do this. And kind of, I can't quite pinpoint exactly when I started taking it a little more seriously, but I've been doing voices and attempting to sound different than how I normally sound for comedic purposes for essentially my whole life. I have been kind of always been off and on trying to do different voices. It's why I've been able to kind of do the amount of voices I've been able to do. Is just I've been kind of screwing around with doing different voices my whole life. So
Gotcha. All right.
yeah.
MC.
I started doing it back in the summer of 2016. Basically, I know I messed up on how I said on how I got into voice acting. Usually, there's a lot of stuff before that, but it was during that year I started doing voice acting. I wanted to like basically get my stuff together and start to do voice acting around that time. You know, looking back from now, kind of upgrading from just kind of an Apple EarPod from a Blue Yeti microphone. It's kind of a little bit like a little far off from what I wanted at this point, but I would probably want to upgrade more at this time this year or probably next year
Mm-hmm.
in order to do a lot of voice acting. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I won't count the time when I tried to attempt that one character from sophomore year. So I'll say I started like after high school around September of 2016. So I've been at this for 3 years technically.
Wow.
So I can't say I've gone far or not. I don't know. I feel like I have gone far, and I feel like I probably am doing okay for what I've been doing.
You've improved a lot since I first met you. I mean, in fact, I don't think. I'm trying to think like what the timeline is between when I started and then when me and Jasper met you.
We
think it
met in the beginning of 2017, like January 2017.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think like how much time there was before that. There was obviously a lot of time before January of 2017, but I'm trying to think like how long I'd been doing it before we actually brought you into it, because I'm not good at remembering dates. But you know, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that it got me to meeting all of you guys, and it got me to wanting to do this more professionally, and eventually, hopefully, it would just be a long-term career until, you know, the end of time.
Or more likely until probably a couple of us start, you know, we actually die eventually.
Yeah, I didn't want it to
Or
put it off that
retire.
way. Yeah, when we either retire or just, you know.
You'll probably retire before you die. I mean,
I
you
mean,
can't exactly
yeah,
retire
you
after you
die.
die.
Well, I
You
can't
basically
say
do
There
voice
are
acting
some
until you
voice
die.
actors that die.
I can't say the same for
Yeah,
Leonard
they still do
Nimoy.
the work.
I can't say the same for Leonard Nimoy because he was voicing Old Man Xehanort, and then eventually he passed away.
Mako is a good example.
Yeah, he voice acted pretty much until he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want
What
to
a
be on that same
brilliant
boat
guy.
as well.
You want to be on the, you want to go until you can't no more.
Yeah, basically.
I can respect that. That's probably what I would do.
Anyway, so Sean.
Well, I've been voice acting since August 8th of 2015.
Holy.
Wow, specific date.
Yep. To be honest, I kind of have my cheat sheet right here for when I
What's going on?
Oh.
What was that?
I have no idea. Anyway,
I think it was-
like I was saying, I had like a cheat sheet of my behind the voice actors old profile saying when exactly did I start, and it said like my very first audition was for Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword manga dub, and it looks like I had put it on August 8th of 2015.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
Right when I started senior year.
You might be going longer than any of us, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was
longer
like
than
a
me.
month. I think it was like a month or so after I had completed, you know, that animation that I spoke about with both Blake Swift and Kira Buckland. And as soon as I get done, like I got done with that, immediately went boom, and then second to none, August 8th, boom, voice actor.
Sweet.
Awesome.
All right. Sammy, have you returned yet?
Crickets.
I think that's Sammy's mic. Sammy, you're
That's a
disconnect.
no.
Okay.
She's attempting. There she is.
Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm on my phone.
Did you make it in nick of time?
Nope. I'm in the kitchen with my partner.
Okay, can you still answer the question?
Yeah. I started when I started seriously, it was 2016. That's the year I count when I started voice acting, 2016.
Oh, around the same time I did, then, technically.
So,
Who left?
yeah. I was going to meet myself again. I will.
Wait, who left?
Fire Dragon Productions. Yeah, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay. Oh, okay. So that explains why he was late. He just got back from work.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. So Your answer for question number 3. How long have you been voice acting?
Who, me?
Yes.
I think the first question was also what got you into voice acting. This kind of goes hand in hand. I started trying to voice act in my freshman year because a friend of mine, my friend used to always quote Helsing Abridged.
Huh.
So I, being his friend, I need to jump in and help him. The first voice I just tried to discover was Alexander Anderson from the Abridged series.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Well, what do we have here?
Well, what do we have? I always tried doing the tongue twister from the first episode. The name.
Yeah, but it soon became like later on. I started finding characters. Like one character, I really tried to voice was come up with a voice for was Fox from Ruby. Trying to come up with a new voice, but I've been doing the acting part of it ever since I was. Because I'm also somewhat of a manga artist, so a lot of times whenever I'm doing dialogue, I go, well, what do we have here? Oh, nothing much. Just the person who's going to behead you. Like, I write dialogue while acting. I got serious about it at the beginning of this year. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That's cool. It was nice. Okay, so we've got
So 7 years.
nice. All right, so question number 4. All right, Caden. Any current voice actors that inspires you to keep going, or any that inspired you in the voice?
There are a lot of people who I kind of would refer to as inspirations. A lot of them are actually probably Team 4-star members. Like I before we started, I kind of talked about people who I just kind of look up to, but Takahata 101 and Lanny Pator specifically are probably the two that I look at and go, they're they're fantastic. Nappa and Vegeta. Yeah, you heard me the other week, rather. You heard me the other week doing a Vegeta voice while we were playing
and
games.
I was
it's like
trying to do my Trunks impression.
Yeah, it was a great time, and I hear stuff like Lanny's story about how he got into voice acting by impersonating Dragon Ball characters while playing Budokai 3.
Oh, really?
And I look at that and I go, like, yeah, it's his story that he tells about how he would play Krillin, Piccolo, and Vegeta a lot in that game, and as a result, he kind of he picked up the voices and he started kind of trash talking in character, and it's just this wonderful little story about how he got going, and it's like this kind of profession can kind of start anywhere and can be kind of born from any different passion, and I find that really wonderful. And like, I think both him and Taka are extremely talented, and I've spent a lot of time attempting to emulate some of the voices that they pull off. And I don't know, I think that with somebody like Lanny Pator, he made quite a lot of his voices out of emulating Christopher Sabat, so it's like even kind of attempting to take inspiration from other actors, it can work if you do it well enough. And it's just this kind of reminder to me that even if you're not being completely original, and even if you're kind of taking inspiration from other people, it can still work, and it can still
help your
be
too.
Very good. It can really help you expand what you can do with your voice. And then there's people like Takahata 101, who's like something that I kind of chase after. I spent a lot of time what you were saying earlier, Fire Dragon Productions was saying earlier about Hellsing Ultimate Abridged. I spent a lot of time emulating the Alucard voice of played by Takahata 101, and I even had once when I went over to my friend's house, and we spent a while watching Hellsing, and all of us taking cracks at doing the voice. And they have very much inspired me to do different voices and to try different things with my voice and to try and be a voice actor. So I'd say that's my big one.
Okay. MC.
I'm just gonna say this short and brief. Mark Hamill and Dante Bosco.
They're both brilliant. Yeah, you clearly grew up watching Avatar, didn't you?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, dude, they're fucking fantastic.
Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Oh, Mark Hamill is just brilliant.
I think Mark Hamill inspires all of us.
Mark Hamill inspires everyone in a way.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful man.
Okay, so to my answer to that, I have like a list of people that I could like name at the top of my head, but I'll just say there's TFS, there's also Mark Hamill, there's also some VAs that like in the current era right now, and I'll just say like there's Bryce, there's Christina, there's Robbie, there's Ray, there's Max, and there's also Kira. There's just like those people, and then you guys too. Especially those who like got like number amount of roles often. So it just makes me like, okay, I want to keep trying. I want to keep trying. I want to stick with them. I want to be able to participate with them, and I want to keep going and then see where it takes me, kind of thing. And that's just inspires me to keep going. It's more like, oh, I'm friends with these guys. I want to have fun participating in whatever they're doing, and that's also partly why I continue voice acting. And hopefully, we never go apart in a way, if you understand what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like whatever's currently going on, like especially when it's like with friends who are also voice actors. They've gone this far to participate in something cool, and I want to do the same thing. So that's
actually really nice.
That's me being inspired. And
Oh, we love you too.
okay, Sean's next.
Okay, as for me, there are a ton of different ones that, that I look up to because they voice some of my favorite characters. But the thing is, I know this is going to sound like I'm kissing butt, like beyond so. Plus, I've mentioned it quite a bit, is the ones that haven't actually inspired me and continue to inspire me is, of course, Shady Vox and, of course, Kira Buckland. Reason why is because even though there are tons and tons of different voice actors like, say, Tara Strong or Nolan North, anyone who I've even remotely know from any game or movie that I've seen. But the thing is that they voice some of my favorite characters and I look up to them. But those two, Blake Swift and Kira Buckland, they're the ones that inspired me to actually pursue this for myself. And not only that, but Kira Buckland is also, she runs she used to run the voiceover workshops. And I continued for the next year or so going and learning from her. I dubbed her my sensei, my voiceover sensei.
That's wonderful.
Even to this day, even though she's no longer doing the voiceover workshops.
What did happen to that, by the way?
I'm not 100% sure. I think like some type of legal action was taken, but don't quote me. But don't quote me on that, because
what was it exactly?
It was sometime in July that they kind of cut. No. It was in August that they cut it off. It was right after Karina Borgar, after her original animation voiceover workshop. For some reason, they got. I'll have to look that up. But anyway, to keep things on topic, but the thing is that I had never actually had anyone to actually show me how to do this. A lot of the stuff that I had to do all on my own. Like I didn't have, like as of last year, I didn't have any like online friends to say. Like I didn't have anyone to actually show me the ropes. I didn't actually have, unless you were a director, I did not actually communicate with you socially. Like I was basically just say, oh, hi, here's the lines. Here, I record them. I send them in. Here are the lines.
You and me last year?
I'm sorry, what?
I was like, that's you and me last year.
Yeah, I've been there too. I don't really do that a lot. I do that a lot. Yeah.
Wait, Sean, that was straight up our first interactions. Except, let's add like one that says like, oh, can you sound angrier, please?
Yeah, but see, unless it's something that throws you for a curveball, then I'm not as social. I'm mostly all business. But the thing is that because I've met different ones like Nico and Melina and so forth, I've actually gotten to be a lot more social. And so, like I said, even though I'm kissing butt, you, Nico, Melina, Wind, Alan, and basically mostly everyone from this server is like, you guys inspire me in like other ways. Like, even if you don't end up getting like a ton of roles or you're not in professional projects, I actually do have a connection with you guys. And that's something that I look up to a bit more than as opposed to someone who's voiced in a character that I liked from an anime or show or whatever. The fact that I can actually have, conversations on a regular basis and actually talk about normal stuff is actually a godsend to me.
That's actually really wholesome.
Yeah.
That's actually wonderful. Wow. That's lovely.
I'm totally not crying.
I'm glad that I'm glad that it actually helped you out in the long run that we communicate with you.
Something that I've been trying to do a lot is kind of communicate with more people and break out of my shell a little bit. It's,
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do. Being anxious about things.
I'm pretty sure that's like most of us because I'm actually part of that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
How many people here are introverts? I'm just curious.
I am.
I'm like selectively introvert. Usually, if I'm out in public, I'm completely quiet and just. But then you see me like when I play Cards Against Humanity, I'm just completely out there and willing to say almost anything. But that's not really who I am. I'm the
complete opposite. I'm very extroverted by nature.
Yeah, Kaden, I never seen you actually gone quiet at all throughout the times I met you IRL. So that's that's
because
new to me.
it's people that I'm comfortable around. I know you and I know, but like recently when I was I went out to go do I had to go out and serve on a jury, or I was selected to be potentially on a jury recently. So I went out to a courthouse and like the entire time I really didn't say a word. It was like an entire day. All I really ever did, the only time I really spoke that entire day pretty much was getting up and telling the judge why I couldn't really serve. And I didn't really make conversation with anybody. I didn't speak to anybody. I barely even made eye contact with them. I'm actually really quite shy when it comes down to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry, most of my friends are shy.
Honestly, if I met you guys IRL, no joke, I will freeze up. So please ignore that.
If it's people I kind of know, or if I can kind of get a kind of it's like momentum. I kind of have to get something started, and then I can kind of be a little bit more extroverted and a little bit more
I know that
talkative.
Man.
Yeah.
But it's like with voice acting. One of the reasons I've had such a trouble finding somebody for my Konosuba dub to play Aqua is that I haven't really been proactively looking for people and being like, hey, would you mind auditioning for this, and doing a few things. Like I did it like with a few people, like people who like replied to me on Twitter and were like, hey, I'd be, and so I sent them some stuff and I was like, yeah, you can audition. Totally. None of them got back to me, but totally.
Sammy, would you want to help Kaden with the whole Aqua role?
Yo, you'd actually be pretty good as Aqua.
We'd have to see because I still owe Nico lines. Straight up, I still owe him lines. I would have to figure out how to squeeze it into my current schedule.
That's fine.
Wait. What was it for again?
Back cover. Back cover Fox Girl.
Right.
Yeah. Well, me and Brandy drafted up an audition document for it. So for people to audition for either like the receptionist Luna or for Aqua, and he didn't put as much direction as we probably should have into that. But I can send it to you. It's not really that hard to do. But yeah, and then there's only like a few other characters in there. There's like the big mohawk man, and there's the big man with the mohawk, and there's an old guy who lends Aqua money.
Okay.
Oh god.
Okay.
Send a picture of the guy with the mohawk. A picture of the guy with the mohawk. I might want to try.
Hold on. Let me. I'll post it in general or something.
By the way, Nico, are you glad I remember these things?
Yeah. Also, okay. So who's next for question number 4? Was it Sammy?
Sam.
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah,
Sam.
that'd be me.
All right.
Here, else.
Your answer to question number 4. Who inspires you in voice acting?
All right. So I have.
That's him, by the way. That's the Mohawk man.
Sorry, Cal scared me. All right.
Sorry.
Okay. So I'm gonna throw the first one out of the way, which is Kira Buckland. I really love her range and also her appreciation for cosplaying as her characters. That is something I aspire to do, like with the own. Yes, shut up, Nico.
She's wonderful.
What? Because
She's
I know
a
that
wonderful-
she does that. Wasn't trying to
I've
do
actually, I was gonna point out that if you go on to Behind the Voice Actors and look for Kira Buckland, the picture that they have up for her is of her in her 2B cosplay.
Yeah, that's very popular. That's actually how
That's
I found
wonderful.
her.
She's wonderful. She's fucking
I
great.
just love her range.
Hey,
I love
man.
her performance as 2B. I love her performance as Umi. Just she has a very good range, and it's very clear. Like you can't like at first, like I didn't know that she voiced Umi in the English dub of Love Live, so I was just like, wait, what? So hearing that was very like inspiring and stuff. But also, like I said, her passion towards her character. But someone who has even more fucking passion is Joe Zija, who is the voice of Claude from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I still can't believe I met him before he was Claude.
I know!
I have his signature and everything on my face.
I know. Okay. But pretty much like he at first, like when I was just like starting to get into the hype for Fire Emblem Three Houses, I was like on the fence between Blue Lions and Golden Deer. But his passion towards his character and his house, I was just like, okay, I actually want to pick his house. But seeing a voice actor just get so like into the fandom and just getting like very into their role and just in general, just embracing it, that is the kind of voice actor I want to be. Because as of right now, a lot of the stuff I do is meme oriented and fandom oriented. But that's what I want to be. I want to be able to just like fully immerse myself into a character and be able to interact with the fandom in such a earnest and passionate manner. I do have one more, if that's okay, Nico, and
Go ahead,
you
go ahead,
might
go ahead.
like be shook. Might be shook. You might.
Is it blue?
Keyword might. Shut the flamingo up. It's yes.
Shut the flamingo up. Somebody
Wait, we're not
shut
allowed
that
to
flamingo
curse?
up.
I was
Shut up, flamingo.
joking, but I mean, I'm not laughing at you because he's your inspiration. I get it. I know it is. I know it is. I know it is.
Okay, so for the listeners that are out of context, we're talking about Blue Surix. He was a voice actor that was more predominant a few years ago, and he was more predominant for Sora and Kirito. He really does voice acting these days, but back when like he was just starting to die down, that's when I started interacting with him and looking at his content. And this is like one that's very close to my heart because I'm still like very close to him to this day. Well, when I saw him do a lot, this is the first time like where I was really exposed to how much range someone can have. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to switch my voice and make myself sound completely different from what I usually sound like. And hearing him do it, I was just like, whoa, this is possible? I was shook. And eventually, like, he sort of indirectly took me under his wing. And yes, I called him VA Senpai a lot. I regret it. I regret it now because I'm very close to him now. And he probably doesn't remember those days.
Now. He's older than any of us in this group. Or in this
He
course.
is.
How old is he?
Yep.
To give context, he is 9 years older than me. He is 9 years my senior.
He's 20. He's 28 to 29.
Yeah, he's
Holy
about to be
shit.
29 this year.
He's about to be 10 years older than me.
9 years for me.
In general, his like original passion towards voice acting just very inspired me, and to this day, I'm gonna be honest, I do keep him in mind when I do voice acting because I'm taking what he taught me, even though he's barely in the industry nowadays. I try to keep it with me. Also, I'm trying not to cry because this is very emotional for me.
Oh,
I can take over if you want.
No.
What are you going to? Are you going to tell her story for her? How do you do that?
No, it's just like she's about to cry. I'm just like, okay, do you want me to give my answers next?
Okay. So
It's
Okay,
okay if
but
you have
long
to
story-
cry a little bit.
But long story short, Kara Buckland, Joe Zizua, because of his freaking passion, he's an awesome man. And Blue, I miss you.
Eric, my brother.
Yes, rip older brother. Okay. Well, I miss him in voice acting because I can't say I miss him. Well, that sounds dark. But
Okay,
I
yes,
can't say
he's
I
been
miss him.
inactive in voice acting a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's been.
We're trying to
how
make him
long?
come back.
At least a year. I'm trying. I'm trying, guys.
Give me his address. I'll just show up there and be like, "Listen, I know you don't know me, but you can get back to voice acting, my dude. We haven't met. I'm a friend of a friend, you know, but they gave me your address, so like."
Is it bad that I'm just imagining the vine? So wait, what's that girl's name from SpongeBob? The Squid Girl? Or no, not
Sandy?
the Squid Girl.
Sandy?
Sandy misses you. Even Squidward misses you. But yeah, I do miss him in voice acting. I would love to see him make a comeback. But if he never comes back, well, I'll just keep what he
I
taught
do want to
me in
collaborate.
my voice
I do
acting
want to
heart.
collaborate with him at least.
What, the two Soras working together?
Yeah.
Paradox.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I kind of like went fangirl moment.
You're fine.
I'm sorry, Nico.
It's fine. I
need to do two Soras talking to each other.
because he
Watch,
does the same
it's
roles that I do.
yeah.
You have one of you do Sora, one of you do Kirito.
Oh no!
Oh, God.
Also choose there.
And
What
then-
about-
Isekai.
What about
Ultimate
Roxas?
Isekai.
What about Roxas or Ven?
I don't know if he's done those.
He's
I know
done
he
Ventus
does-
in that Vanitas scene.
Yeah, Vanitas. He does Vanitas.
He also did
Uh,
Ventus
who
as well.
else
He
is the
tried
guy?
doing both.
He also does Akito from. Is it Akito? I might be thinking Fruits Basket.
Whatever. I think we're getting a little off topic
Yeah,
here.
I think we're getting a little off
Okay,
topic.
enough,
We're sorry, Blue.
enough of Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. We get it. But
Yeah.
Foster's
Sorry,
Home for
Blue. Sorry,
Imaginary
Blue, if you ever watch this video, I am so
I love
sorry.
that fucking show.
anyways, fire. Your answer to question number 4. Who's inspired you?
So I'm going to say this, and this one's a little bit more personal than some people might think. It's Mark Hamill. And the reason for that is because growing up, I hated my laugh. Everyone said it sounded like SpongeBob. So I learned how to laugh quietly. No one can hear me. But when I first started out voice acting, I really loved doing like clown characters, but I could never get their laugh right. And I just listened to Mark Hamill over and over again, and thanks to his Joker laugh me and trying to impersonate it, it helped me become more comfortable with my laughter.
Oh.
There are
Like I
other
said,
voice.
Mark Hamill inspires us all in some way.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's
For me-
everywhere, like how Mark Hamill's in Kingdom Hearts.
He's like the
Um,
world's grandfather.
Basically, I'm also inspired by.
Oh.
I'm also inspired by J. Michael Tatum,
Mm.
of course. Todd Capricorn, definitely him, and a guy who here's one that I'm not sure if you guys heard of, Keith Silverstein or
He's the
Silverstein.
first voice actor I met on Anime Expo last year.
He voices Torbjorn, and he also voices Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah,
But-
he's everywhere.
But neither of those characters are what really drew me to him. It's his voice for William Shakespeare in Fate Apocrypha.
Oh wow.
He was the first voice actor I ever actively looked up, and I loved his voice of William Shakespeare. I love the energy of that. I say watch it just for his performance. It's perfect. It's a
Isn't
perfect voice, and
He's very talented, yeah.
he's very talented, but he was the first voice actor I ever looked up based off his voice in a role. And of course, Taka 101 is what helped me get into it. I also did Alucard as well as Anderson,
Yeah, there.
Dragon Ball, Zebra Bridge, and bunch of other people that I cannot name because sadly I don't remember the name of a lot of voice actors. But I remember Keith mostly because I ran into him in at Holiday, Missouri last December.
Nice.
And I don't have a lot of money, so I could pay for an autograph or anything like that. So I just go up to them, just wanting to talk like normal people. And you have some voice actors who are like, okay, you're not gonna pay high. You have some voice actors like that, but you also have like him and J. Michael Tim too. I met him. Both of them are like, hey, okay, even though you're not paying for anything, you still want to talk to me. Okay, let's talk for a little bit. It wasn't like a quick hi bye or anything like that. It was a genuine talk. And he seemed really grateful that and he was like the one person who knew he played William Shakespeare. So, I really want to be to a point where I help inspire others, especially with those who have speech impediments, like I do.
Speaking of speech impediments, I remember this one guy who had it. But in your case, you actually have a better speaking voice than someone with just regular speech impediments. So you're good.
Actually, here's the thing though, is that one, I worked years to do that, and two, I'm treating this like I'm voice acting. When if I'm just talking normally, it comes in bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I get that. That happens at work actually. That's why I
But you
often
are doing a good
assume my
job,
YouTube
though.
persona.
It does go away, especially when I do like, hello there, how are you doing today? Would you like any tea with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you are doing
When
a
I
good
do
job at it,
that.
though. You are doing a good job at it.
Round of applause.
Yep, thank you.
So anything else?
Not really anything else.
Okay. All right, so we're about to go on the final question.
The last round.
Question number 5,
Yeah.
Gaiden. What do you see and or hope to be in 5 years? Regarding, just what do you see yourself?
Regarding voice acting, I mainly like to get some of the current project that I have with the Konosuba dub off the ground and going in the next however long it takes. And I'd like to get mainly my goal is to have at some time in the next 5 years, I'd like to move out of my parents' place and start actively voice acting and live streaming more often, so that I can get a little bit more comfortable with it and get better at it. All I really care about is being good at what I do, and being able to get better at what I do is what makes me happy. So I'm going to do that.
You plan on dubbing the movie as well?
Yes, I haven't watched the movie because it hasn't been fucking subbed yet. I keep swearing.
There's your F-bomb.
Yeah, I've dropped it like 4 times already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
no.
I'm actually gonna watch it on November because that's when it's gonna show in my town, the theaters.
Is the theater version going to be dubbed or subbed?
Subbed.
Dubbed.
It's always dubbed to me.
I don't like the dub very much, of the official dub very much, so I'll wait for it to be subbed and
It's
pop up on
already
the internet.
It is subbed. It's gonna be in the theaters, not dubbed. So the sub is gonna be shown in my theater at least. I don't know about.
Oh, the sub is going to be shown in your theater.
Yes.
Maybe if I can get a showing that shows the subtitle version, I'll get my bro together and we'll go see it. Like we saw them.
You should take Greyhound and go to my town and we can watch it together.
Yo, that would actually be awesome.
It's in November, so you got a month.
Yo, that would actually be really cool.
That would.
I'm actually
Then I could show you what my room actually looks like.
Dude, that'll be awesome. You've always came up here, so I could go down there.
Dragon,
dude.
you gotta go.
Yeah, you and Jasper need to come by.
All right. I'll drag Jasper over. We'll all go see it.
There's one movie I cannot wait for that's coming out next week. The Addams Family.
Oh.
Really? I forgot that was coming out.
That's true.
Wait.
I love the voice acting in that.
Wait, the Addams Family. Wait. What is that again?
The animated version of the Addams Family.
Yeah, it's a reboot.
It's a
My-
creepy family.
Oh, that movie. Yeah. I actually seen the original one back in freshman year when we were watching it.
Yeah.
You know how I mentioned a second ago, I'll get my boy and we'll go see it?
Yeah.
That person I was referring to just texted me a gif of a Fortnite dancing Sans.
Oh.
Like right after I mentioned him.
Wow.
I think he's omniscient or something. What the fuck?
Anyways, so MC, your answer to question number 5.
Okay, so recurring voice actor as always, and basically already graduated from college in this case, and already have a job. I don't know about if I want to be an actor, honestly, like a being a full time actor, like a live action actor. Just kind of, I don't know how that would work. If just kind of like shifting from voice acting to just being an actor generally.
Oh. Okay.
Cool.
So, so that's it?
Yeah, I'm just like, it's so everyone's like making an awkward
I don't know.
sound.
It's
I was
just like, you know,
It's all right, all right.
often it's just like I know some of the answers that we give were short and sweet, but just not that short.
It's good to kind
I
of
don't
shotgun the
know.
answers at a point. But
I'm
yeah.
kind of like keeping.
He's keeping it brief.
Short and brief.
He's
I'm
keeping it brief so
for
he doesn't
enough.
drag out the length of the podcast to like
Oh.
obscene.
That, and also I want to keep most of my stuff private at this case because I don't want to be really public and explaining everything.
That's fine.
else.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get roasted by my fangirling.
No one's gonna roast you.
It's all right.
I will.
Me?
Sammy, no one's gonna roast you because you already did it.
Dang.
You know what? Fair enough. I am my worst critic.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you're forgetting that my name is Fire Dragon, so roasting is my specialty.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay.
That was some lit roasting.
Okay.
That word sounded so unnatural coming out of your mouth.
It is.
It's just that was lit, guys, right? Radical.
Radical, dude.
Tubular.
Okay. All right. So my answer to this, what I see okay, so I'm gonna answer these. So what I see myself is that I'm still voice acting. I've gotten somewhere somewhat, and I've got more roles, and I have a better setup, and so on. But pretty much my hope is that I hope that I'm somewhere where I'm getting paid more often for doing voice work, and it feels like I'm actually, you know, my own employer. Like I feel like I wish that I would be marketing myself a lot to the point where like, oh, I'm getting paid as much as an actual job. But I do hope that I have like a better setup, better room treatment, so that way it would qualify for all auditions, it would be sorry. I just hope it's like my treatment would be qualified for every project that is out there known to man. And just hopefully I get more connections and more I'll say this in a personal level, like more wounds mended. But that's a little personal, so I won't put much as that in the podcast. But yeah, and just hope that I get more connections, get my projects done by that time in 5 years, since Recreators and Zetsu and Antemis takes a long time. But my passion is to finish those dubs at least before 5 years, hopefully. But yeah, just hopefully I go marketing, and that's about it.
Yay!
Cool.
Yay.
All right, Sean.
All right. I'll try to keep this brief because I know that I've been surprisingly, I've been talking a lot. This is the longest that I've ever talked, like all day.
How many times have you said
or
that
like
throughout
ever?
our conversations in the past few months?
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm just because I know you said this before.
Yeah.
It really has, honestly.
All right, then. Short and sweet. Part 1. Move to Texas and get, actually get a stable job there, and also attempt to work at Funimation, Sentai Filmworks, or Sound Cadence Studios. Once I build myself up a bit, actually get myself a full-fledged professional resume, then I could be able to most likely move over to LA, actually get into like video games, like animated movies or cartoons, other types of anime, and maybe even down the line make a few mangas, write a few of my own stories that I originally wanted to put into animation, maybe even evolve my craft as an animator, maybe even create my own animations, maybe even make my own studio. That would be my ideal goal.
Much ambition, much wow.
That's a lot of ambition to pack into 5 years.
Yeah,
I know.
That is a lot. That is a lot, but hopefully
You're gonna have to
all
get
that in 5 years.
I mean, hey, if you wanted to accomplish all that, you should have gotten started like 7 years ago, my dude.
Right now I'm on year 4, so
I mean, hey.
He's getting there.
so yeah, I've got about 3 years left. So maybe in the extra 2 years or so, I could be able to get the rest of that stuff done. Because see, the thing is that Kira Buckland, she started off doing stuff like this for the past 7 years before she started to get into the industry. She started off doing,
right?
Yeah, she started off in Newgrounds. Then 7 years later, she got into the industry, and now 8 years from now, she's doing it till this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She became sexy robot lady.
So, and I was about to say, when you said like you wanted to move to like LA, and so I was like, IRL meetup.
Yes.
Yes.
We're all gonna hang out.
Plane ticket.
Yeah.
Get over here.
Plane ticket.
Actually,
we're all gonna meet up and we're gonna have a great time.
Wait, Kaden. There's one more person we need to drag.
Who?
Plum.
Ooh.
Did you say the name, or
Yeah, I
did
said
you
the
cut
name.
out?
I said Plum.
Yes.
Remember how we were about
We're
to go
going-
to Canada?
We're all going to
Oh,
Canada.
Canada. Oh, Canada.
What, do I have to serve you all poutine?
Yes.
All right, let me get
Anyways.
the deep fryer.
Okay, Sammy. Before you do that, please answer this question.
No, I will get the deep fryer first. Okay. Okay. I'm working on it, okay, Nico? Okay, sorry. Okay. So, as for like where do I see myself in 5 years? I definitely see myself pursuing my field in programming, probably going somewhere between like Java or app development personally, but I still plan to do voice acting all this time. In fact, I'm hoping that eventually I'll be able to get into at least one video game, indie, otherwise visual novel, I don't care. I want to be able to at least get into one game where I can just be like, hey, I made it into something. Like something that's playable, because I do really like video games. Although sadly, I might have to get more padding because in 5 years, I do see myself starting a family, so I might need to pad my room so that way the baby doesn't ruin the recordings.
Oh my God.
Well, hey, at least you're prepared.
Well, it's because my mother-in-law, spoiler alert, she's getting in on her years, so I want her to be able to at least meet her first grandchild.
What do you mean?
So-
That's sweet. She's getting a bit elderly.
She's about to turn 16.
She old.
And so I have to start thinking about it. And I do legitimately want kids, so
Okay.
I just gotta make sure that the baby doesn't scream while I record. Well, I mean that'll be a great start for them getting into voice acting.
Wait, Sammy. You know what you should do with your kid regarding voice acting?
What?
Do what South Park did.
What?
You remember? Okay, so there was a time when they were recording a booth. They actually had like one of them had their kid to record that one Canadian baby that I think it was like either was it Kyle's baby brother or Stan's baby? I think it was Kyle's baby brother.
I don't like where this is going, but I'll
Has
listen.
anyone seen South Park?
No.
Oh no! What is?
Oh,
Remember,
no!
This-
remember the baby, the baby that the baby brother of Kyle, I think.
Yeah, hold on.
It was actually voiced by an actual child.
Are you saying I enroll my infant child into voice acting?
Yeah.
You mean Ike?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically what you're suggesting is using a baby for sound effects.
No, for voice acting, not sound effects.
Is it really acting if you're a baby and you don't really understand what's going on? You're just making the natural that you're. I would refer to sound effect.
You know, like if there's like a baby in an anime, like if you're doing fandom with something and you actually need an actual baby.
You actually.
I remember watching a
voice acting a baby in the anime.
Do you credit the baby though? Do you list baby played by?
Don't kick the baby.
Honey, why is the baby on fire?
Although there is one thing that
Sorry.
I swear.
Sorry. That's my
there's
fault.
one thing I'd like to do with my child regarding voice acting. I would like to have them fan dub the brilliant fight scene in episode 8 from Sword Art Online as Kirito. Can you imagine?
Wait, the baby?
The baby? Why?
The baby is Kirito?
Yeah, for his
Episode 8 of
Are you talking about
Sword
when he
Art
does
Online.
Starburst stream or something?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, can you imagine him doing like the abridged version? Like, you know what? I really hate people.
Babe, you haven't lived that long yet to understand this.
No, when the baby, when Kirito is supposed to talk, it's just my baby crying.
No, what you do is you have the baby record something for like a dub of like some like horror anime. That way they can never watch till they're old.
Oh. But for context, people, I don't actually plan to use my baby for voice acting. It's just a joke idea. If my baby ever cries during voice acting, I'll include it somewhere.
Somewhere.
In the
Yeah, but in that case, if my baby does start crying, do not worry. I'll stop recording and go attend to my baby. Don't worry, guys.
Yes, I'm sure you will.
It'll probably be like some Easter egg in some like horror series that you made.
Yeah,
And, like, you hear it faintly in the distance.
It's just a crying baby.
Yeah.
Your baby is actually the invisible baby from the Osiris fight in Dark Souls 3 that's just, there's like a crying baby in that, but there's actually no baby.
No, guys, you don't get it. My baby is from Death Stranding.
That's your baby?
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Norman Reedus and the funky fetus.
All right, but long story short, I plan.
Okay, I need to burn something.
Long story short, I plan to continue programming, and I can plan to continue voice acting while starting my own family. Da-na-na. Sorry about the side tangent, Nico, with the baby.
It's fine.
Fire Dragon.
Yes.
I want you to answer the last question in 5 words or less.
That's a little unfair.
That's a stretch.
All right, fine.
Just
8 words or less.
All right, your answer to number 5. Sorry. I was looking at the members in like the group chat that Bexy made, and I didn't Bexy, I didn't say to make this.
8 words or less.
I don't think I can in 8 words.
Just let him answer. Just let him answer without the limit.
I will say though, Sam and I have one thing in common for our goals.
What?
I too want a child.
Aww.
I want to become a father one day, and hopefully it's a son. That's one thing I hope to see. Well, I want a son because I want to teach him what I've learned. And if I have a daughter too, I would actually like to have one of both. One of both.
Wait, Fire,
Y'all sweet.
Fire, you know what you should do?
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Oh dear.
Purchase
Yes.
a Darth
Yes.
Vader
There'll be.
helmet,
already did it
and
with
you'll know
my
what
child.
I mean.
Are you gonna recreate that Vine where he runs up on the baby?
No.
Yeah.
No. Just wear that purchase a Darth Vader helmet and just be like, I am your father.
It's like that.
Luke, I am your father.
He doesn't say Luke, I am your father. He just says. No, but you just have that. You just have that Vine where the mom runs up on the kid. They just edited it so that it's like he runs up on the little kid and he goes, "Tata." He fucking looks over and he's wearing a Darth Vader helmet. He goes, "Yeah." And then it just flares Star Wars.
Actually, I already know what I'm going to call my child.
Oh, what are you gonna do?
You know, that's actually a better ending than what we're gonna have later on for Star Wars Episode 9. So
that's better than every Star Wars movie. Let's not fuck around here.
Most of my goals in the future revolves around having a wife, having 2 children and doing. If I can get enough money to support my wife and children, I would do voice acting to the end of time. If I get elsewhere, I will.
What are you gonna name the kids?
That's. I would just say that if it's a boy, his name would be Henry.
Aww.
That's a good name.
Mostly
strong
because
name.
okay, so there's a real funny reason for it. Is that I had a dream while I was actually a father. I got called in by the principal of my kid's school, and it turned out he drew a gun
What?
in school. But you know what I did? I did not punish him. I did not go, "How dare you?" I'm like, you know, the bell is too long.
Wow.
And the principal just look at me like, "Are you stupid?" I look at him. I'm like, "What? It's a good drawing."
You should just said I'm being rhetorical here or some sort.
At first
You just hand your kid like a really high res photo of like an M16. You're like, here, son. Yes.
But I thought
America.
the first thing that came to mind was your kid drew a gun in school. Like he actually drew out a gun, but then you said that it was a picture.
Yeah, I
I
was
was
thinking
like,
that too.
It was drawing like
He
a
was
picture.
drawing a picture of a gun. Not like I'm just imagining. I was imagining like a little 5-year-old walking in and be like, "What did you bring for show and tell, little Henry?" "I brought a gun." It's like that. It's like that vine of the little kid running through the backyard. "What do you have? A knife?" "No."
There's something I want to say this really quick. This podcast is so interesting to the point
This
where,
is funny.
No. I just want to say
Hey
this. Like,
guys,
have you ever
want to hear something funnier? A
what?
dragon having kids, so there will be mini dragons.
I mean,
Aw.
donkey
Basically,
a donkey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Donkey and the Dragon from
Base.
Shrek.
Basically,
That makes you Donkey, bro.
no.
What does it sound like? A fucking
My wife is the donkey. Damn.
Okay.
Well,
Could
that-
somebody
Damn.
quote him?
That-
Could somebody
that-
quote him?
Guys, that gives a new
My
definition
wife is
to-
the donkey.
Yo, where's the quote at?
Wait.
That
Hold on.
gives a
Wait.
definition to donkey style.
Wait, hold on. I just
Try to
wanna
freaking
Donkey style.
That sounds like a parody of Gangnam Style.
guys.
What have I done?
Guys, look what I just put in the text channels.
Oh no.
Which
What have you
one?
done? Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Scroll down.
I don't know.
Which chat?
Which chat?
It's below the selfie chat.
Quote chat. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
Oh
what have we
shit.
done?
I see nothing.
We have planted the seed.
Oh, there it
Trying
go.
to keep us find. What have we done?
What have I done?
Think about it. What if like professional VAs or VAs who've got
Yo,
like
Fred?
paid
Yeah,
members
hold
who are just online that just like here's this a podcast and all.
You're welcome.
Hey, Cal.
All right.
Okay. Just gonna make all right. So that's it for all the questions. Just anybody have like final statements or any like last words before I officially?
I have one.
All right, go
I
ahead.
also have one.
I just have something very short. His wife is the donkey.
That's all I wanted to say.
I'm gonna roast you alive and eat you.
I want to die. You can't scare me.
He's going Liu Kang style.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm gonna burn you to death.
I
All
guess
right. Who else has a final statement? Or a tell?
I do.
Sammy.
Sam.
Okay.
All right. Shh.
my final statement is to anyone who's getting out into the voice acting world. I know it's scary, but just do it. Shia LaBeouf it. You will
Just
do great.
do it.
Just
Do it.
thought.
Yes, you
And
can.
Also, I am so sorry to Blue Cyrix. I am very sorry you had to hear me fangirl. I'm so sorry. And also, I am sorry for the
I
chaos
think
that
I
has
know who.
entered your
I
ears.
think I know who to DM this video to then.
Don't you flamingo dare me!
To be
So
honest, he could see
actually,
it
I have a
any
few.
time because I'll be posting in the self promo anyways, and since he's in the server.
Actually, I have a few things to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Number one thing is if you think about getting into voice acting, number one thing, and this is much more of like professional type stuff. When you're working for a director or working with other voice actors, this goes in wherever you go for work. And this is a problem I've seen happen. Never, ever talk about politics. That's number one. Don't talk.
Advice for voice acting and the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yes. Politics should not be a topic in there. If it does start doing that, then
There's actually a really great little phrase that I came up with for that, which is you're entitled to your opinion. You're also encouraged to shut the fuck up about your opinion.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyone else with final tells or anything? Statements?
Subscribe to Fire Drawing Production.
Shut the hell up. Subscribe to me instead.
My channel has collaborations with Nico.
Watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Sean, anything to say?
Breathe.
Anything to say? Statements to tell?
No. I'd say anyone who's just starting off doing voice acting, just gonna let you guys know right off the bat, whether you're a newbie, whether you're a professional, there is going to be a larger ratio of failure than there will be success.
Yeah.
Like that is going to be a given no matter what you're going to be doing, whether it be voice acting, whatever you're planning on doing. My only advice is keep doing it.
And learn from your failures. Failures are
Very
not
much,
necessarily bad.
Don't
They're only bad if you keep fucking up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very good advice.
So my last tell is start small and then go big as time goes by. But there's actually one question that I want to ask personally though. Can I actually say one? Can I ask one thing?
Sure.
So
Depends.
it's regarding voice acting basically. So you know how like so do you guys believe that voice acting can be an only job and can actually provide by just doing voice acting only, like provide a family or yourself? Because that
sure.
It's possible.
Anything's possible. I mean, it's just not easy.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do.
Because that kind of also worries me sometimes. Like even though if you got like a lot of roles and then you're like one of those like Laura Bailey or whoever's over at that right now,
Joe.
It just makes me wonder like, do they only do that for a living, or do they need like a side job just to make sure they are safe and?
I mean, you could always do like, I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays the scout from Team Fortress 2, he has a massive career now, live streaming, and he only has that one role really that he's known for, but people donate to him and have him say things in the scout's voice. There's tons of audio now of like the scout sings Smash Mouth and stuff that all comes from his streaming career, because it's just he plays games and he streams and he uses the bit of fame that he has from playing the scout to help provide for him more, because Valve isn't great at treating its voice actors. I mean, they're all right, but they're not the worst. But they're not the best. They're not Gearbox. But
well, here's something I heard was J. Michael Tatum was actually talking about this, and he actually said that one thing he does do is he does waiting jobs. He does a waiting job or bartending job, something that he is very flexible with, like his voice schedule. So if he doesn't, and so he kind of does, is you don't necessarily have to, because you have some voice actors like Sam, the voice of Goku,
Sean Schemmel,
Sean Schemmel, and voice actors like that.
Because like
some of them can, but
like,
you can't. It's definitely encouraged to have like a side job.
Yeah, because if there's gonna be like a side job, because like I know this one person who does that. He does a particular thing for a living, and what he does is like let's plays, and he also has a Patreon and all that stuff, and he just goes by when he just does that, and
Yeah.
it just seems pretty successful because
Anyway.
like how funny and all that stuff, and I just want to be like,
Yeah.
I want to also do YouTube as well for like a living, but it's
Yeah, I do too. I mean, we should probably wrap this up though,
yeah.
because I gotta go.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's it for the podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time for the next podcast for like the next month or so.
Yeah.
Anyways, peace out.
Later.
Peace out.
Take
Later.
care.
Later. Bye.
Bye.